What's up, Patriots?
Hi, Patriots.
This is Carrie.
This is Joel.
And we are the Quiet Boys
of Truth.
All right, guys. Anyone new to our channel, welcome. We're so glad that you stopped by to check us out.
Absolutely.
And shout out to all our subscribers.
Yeah, you guys rock.
Yeah.
You are the reason we are here.
Definitely. All right, I hope everybody is staying safe out there and just staying out of harm's way. All right, our first post from May 30th is at 10:05 a.m. and this is a long one, guys. It's post 4352. These are giving safe haven to Antifa, a far-left radical group of domestic terrorists.
Who would have thunk?
Who would have thunk? All right, so we have the tweet that our president sent out on July 27th of 2019. And he said, consideration is being given to declaring Antifa the gutless, radical left whack jobs who go around, I just love how he says things, who go around hitting only non-fighters, people over the heads with baseball bats, a major organization of terror, along with MS-13 and others, would make it easier for police to do their job.
Sure
Agreed.
would.
Okay, so the first thing we have on post 4352, we've got a link there that goes to a PDF that is the U.S. government counterinsurgency guide and is from January of 2009. So this is quite a long document. If you want to check that out, of course, we will leave that link for you down below. But Q has pulled out pretty much the most important part of that PDF. It says warfare, guys, and that is just a typo, as the next post 4353, clarifies that that typo was not intentional. So a lot of times, as we've seen on the board, when things are spelled incorrectly, there's generally a reason for that. However, in this case, on the next post, Q makes it clear that this was just a typo. So it says irregular warfare. It's supposed to be irregular warfare. Insurgency. Insurgency is the organized use of subversion and violence to seize, nullify, or challenge political control of a region. As such, it is primarily a political struggle in which both sides use armed force to create space for their political, economic, and influence activities to be effective. Insurgency is not always conducted by a single group with a centralized military-style command structure, but may involve a complex matrix of different actors with various aims, loosely connected in dynamic and non-hierarchical networks. To be successful, insurgencies require charismatic leadership, supporters, recruits, supplies, safe havens, and funding, often from illicit activities. They only need the active support of a few enabling individuals, but the passive acquiescence of a large proportion of the contested population will give a higher probability of success. This is best achieved when the political cause of the insurgency has strong appeal, manipulating religious, tribal, or local identity to exploit common societal grievances or needs. Insurgents seek to gain control of populations through a combination of persuasion, subversion, and coercion, while using guerrilla tactics to offset the strengths of government security forces. Their intent is usually to protract the struggle, exhaust the government, and win sufficient popular support to force capitulation or political accommodation. Consequently, insurgencies evolve through a series of stages, though the progression and outcome will be different in almost every case. Location: cities, loss of control, decontrolled. Define stand down, safe haven, order. Define organized group. Coordination of organized and funded groups in Democrat-controlled safe haven cities across the U.S. Pre-knowledge to groups. Who did that sound like, Joel? All of that about insurgencies. What group were you thinking of while reading that?
Sounds like Antifa.
Yes, it sounds just like Antifa. Thank you. Thank you, Joel. Okay, so this first link takes us to the website of United States Congressman Jim Banks. And this says, Representative Jim Banks asks FBI to add Antifa to list of extremist ideologies. And this is dated August 1st of 2019. Today, Representative Jim Banks from Indiana sent a letter to FBI Director Christopher Wray requesting the FBI add a new subsection to its list of extremist ideologies that would include Antifa. This paves the way for the FBI to target Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization.
Boom.
And Representative Banks says the point of my letter is simple. Antifa employs violence to coerce Americans into silence. As a veteran of the war in Afghanistan, I am intimately familiar with the tactics of terrorist groups and how they employ fear and violence to silence political enemies. To my great surprise, we are witnessing similar style tactics right here in our country. The FBI must take this threat seriously. Okay, guys, so this website has the actual letter there, and we'll leave the link for you if you want to check that out. Okay, guys, our next link takes us to another representative's website. This one is Brian Fitzpatrick, and this is dated July 19th of 2019. Fitzpatrick condemns Antifa and political violence. Requests Department of Justice designate Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization. Washington, D.C., Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick from Pennsylvania this week sent a letter to Attorney General Bill Barr expressing his concern over the recent assault of journalist Andy Ngo by the militant Antifa movement in Portland, Oregon. Antifa is a danger to the safety and well-being of the general public, said Fitzpatrick. Designating Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization would be a significant step to protect journalists like Andy Ngo and all Americans who exercise their First Amendment rights. So also on this website, you will find the actual letter that he wrote, and we'll include that for you if you want to check it out. All right, so the third and final link, I believe, from this post takes us to thehill.com. 2 Republican senators introduced resolution to label Antifa as domestic terrorists. This is written July 21st of 2019. Senators Bill Cassidy, Republican Louisiana, and Ted Cruz, Republican Texas, have introduced a non-binding resolution that would label anti-fascist activists known as Antifa as domestic terrorists. Antifa are terrorists, violent masked bullies who fight fascism with actual fascism, protected by liberal privilege. Cassidy said in a statement, bullies get their way until someone says no. Elected officials must have courage, not cowardice, to prevent terror. So, so giving over your precinct, cowardice, right?
Well, I think a lot of that also was because the governors of those states allowed that to happen and did not condemn it.
Well, yeah,
So
no, I think that was all part of the plan.
Right, but I don't think it was on all those officers like having to leave the precinct, because I think that they were so overwhelmed by the lack of action by their governors to stop it.
Because their governors are doing absolutely nothing. They're just saying, here's our city, go ahead and do whatever you want.
Exactly. They weren't condemning the actions of Antifa, and therefore they stand with Antifa.
Pretty much, yeah.
Enough
if you don't
said.
stand against it, you stand with it.
There's no riding the fence on this one.
No, absolutely. All right. While there is no specific crime called domestic terrorism, applying such a designation allows law enforcement to look into a suspect's known associates and affiliations. Okay, so guys, this article goes on, it starts spouting some ridiculousness near the end there. You guys can check that out. What do you think, Joel?
That's pretty weird. I don't know. It seems like the Hill stands with Antifa, too.
It sounds like they do, right? It's that kind of the impression that I'm getting.
Yeah.
Okay, so Joel, I have one more question about this whole thing. Okay, so Antifa is finally at the point where they're being declared a domestic terrorist organization, correct? Okay, so why do you think that it took so long to get this ball rolling? Because all of these articles we're looking at are a year old. You know, I mean, people were requesting this a year ago, at least.
Well, I think it took some time because this is just what I think. Please think for yourself. Don't let me tell you what to think. But
Okay.
I think personally that it took some time because they were watching these guys' Twitter accounts, all their social media accounts, getting them rounded up, knowing where they're at. I mean, if you look at what Twitter's been doing recently, taking down tweets and accounts that belong to Antifa.
Trying to remove the evidence.
Yeah, trying to scrub the evidence. I mean,
But
it's a
they
little too
really
late.
can't do that.
Like we've said before, the internet is forever, and all these little soy boys are crapping themselves right now because they realize, oh my God, we're being labeled as domestic terrorists. So it kind of makes one like kind of rethink your actions and look at your life choices. You know, why were they doing this? You know, I'm sure a lot of them were roped into it just like sheeple.
I feel like they have probably gone after a lot of like really vulnerable people, like people that would be susceptible to this type of programming, like telling them that it's for a good cause or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, because I just can't see how anyone could think that this is a good cause, like what they're doing. Unless they're just getting paid a whole lot of money and they were willing to sell their soul for that.
Well, some people sell their soul for $5. It doesn't take much.
You're right. All right, and the very last part of this long post says, "Thank you for playing. Have a nice day."
Haha.
Cute.
Post 4353, drop 30th of May 2020 at 10:07 a.m. Basically says, ignore misspelling in previous drop. So it's the exact same drop as before, just was reposted. Q says, warfare, misspelling, unintentional, on the move. Cute.
Okay, guys, post 4354 comes to us on the 30th of May, 10:28 a.m. We have here a picture of two startlingly similar flags, or logos, I guess I should say. So that first one on the left, the one that's Antifa Action, is the 1933 paramilitary wing of the Communist Party of Germany. So essentially, like, the Nazi flag.
Nazis.
Notice the flag on the right, which would be Antifa's anti-fascist action flag.
Neo-Nazis. Wow.
Coincidence?
Don't think so.
Anti-American, domestic terrorists, organized fascists, extreme radicals, violent POTUS action coming. Homeland Security, FBI, DOJ action coming. Investigations may lead to DF support targets.
Yeah. So it's interesting how all these Antifa dillholes
I knew you were going to say that word.
calling President Trump's supporters Nazis. And guys, look at their symbol.
It's all projection, like you
guys,
said so many
they're
times.
the real Nazis. They are neo-Nazis. They might as well just call themselves the neo-Nazi party.
Seriously.
Because that is what they are.
God.
All they did was project. That's all these people are good at, is projection.
Yeah.
They say they're fighting fascism, but they fight it with fascism.
They're exactly what they say they're fighting against.
They are exactly what they are fighting against, and it sucks for the people that can't see it.
Isn't that like an oxymoron or something?
I don't know, but they are morons.
They are morons.
All right, post 4355, drop 30th of May 2020 at 10:37 a.m. It says they want you divided, they want race wars, they want class wars, they want religious wars, they want political wars. For God and country, learn. Stay strong, stay together.
All right, guys, post 4356, May 30th, 11:58 a.m. And I love this one, guys. It's volunteers in Minneapolis helping neighbors clean up business damage. And we can check out this video real quick. And it says, humanity at its finest. Okay, so this comes from Matt Finn at MattFinnFNC. An army of volunteers in Minneapolis helping neighbors clean up business damage. Bring a broom, they were told. What a sight. Let's check this out.
Wow.
That is an army of volunteers. That's awesome. Oh,
Nice.
even like got the little kids working.
Great job, guys.
Yeah. This is truly humanity at its finest.
Yep. Cleaning up the mess that the neo-Nazi party of Antifa left. Post 4357, drop 30th of May 2020 at 12:19 p.m. Black Patriots protect lone police officer from Antifa terrorists. These men are protecting an officer that was separated from his team, was outnumbered, and in danger. This made me cry. So this is the awesome stuff that they're not going to show you guys on the news because they want to keep you afraid, divided, and alone. Because then you're easier to control. But look at this, guys. These men are creating a human body shield around this police officer because they know that what these other guys are doing is wrong. It does not honor anybody's memory to kill someone. It doesn't honor anybody's memory to riot, to loot. That does not help. Good on these guys. Man, you guys are awesome.
This is a
Way to go,
touching photo.
Patriots.
I love this.
Way to go, Patriots.
I love this.
Man, that is so cool. We stand with you.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
We love you.
Awesome job, guys.
All right, post 4358, May 30th, 12:39 p.m. Be vigilant for more organized attacks by far-left extremist groups using Antifa-like tactics. And Q says be vigilant. Okay, guys, this is a video of Attorney General Bill Barr speaking, and this comes to us from the Daily Caller.
Already, initial charges have been filed by the state. That process continues to move forward, and justice will be served. Unfortunately, with the rioting that is occurring in many of our cities around the country, the voices of peaceful protest are being hijacked by violent radical elements. Groups of outside radicals and agitators are exploiting the situation to pursue their own separate and violent agenda. In many places, it appears the violence is planned, organized, and driven by anarchic and left extremist groups, far left extremist groups, using Antifa-like tactics, many of whom travel from outside the state to promote the violence.
That's a crime in itself.
We must have law and order on our streets and in our communities, and it is the responsibility of the local and state leadership in the first instance to halt this violence. The Department of Justice, including the FBI, the U.S. Marshals, the ATF, the DEA, and our 93 United States U.S. Attorney's offices around the country are supporting these local efforts. We'll continue to support them and take all action necessary to enforce federal law. In that regard, it is a federal crime to cross state lines or to use interstate facilities to incite or participate in violent rioting, and we will enforce those laws. Thank you.
About time.
Yeah, and what happens when the local and state authorities don't want to do their job?
Oh, well, Trump's already said.
Yeah,
he's going to send in the military.
Oh yeah.
Solve the problem for him.
Yeah, you guys can't figure it out on your own? We'll come help you.
I just hope it shows people how inept some of these governors are and how much they don't care.
Well, how complicit they are in this whole thing and
Yeah.
how they're
Taking George Soros and dirty China money.
Yeah, I mean, they have to be in on it.
They
you
are.
know? They have to be.
They are.
Like you said, it's planned, organized, and driven. All of it.
Post 4359 dropped 30th of May 2020 at 3:37 p.m. FBI's top swamp lawyer, Dana Boente, ousted amid criticism for Roland Flynn investigation. Update the list, says Q. Let's go check out that link. So this link says to NBCnews.com, FBI's top lawyer, Dana Boente, ousted amid Fox News criticism for Roland Flynn investigation. Boente was asked to resign on Friday, and two sources familiar with the decision to dismiss him said it came from high levels of the Justice Department rather than directly from FBI Director Christopher Wray. And here we have a picture of the individual in question. I'm assuming that's Dana Boente, who looks like an evil, distant cousin of Orville Redenbacher, who does not make popcorn. So it says here, after a 38-year career with the Justice Department, the FBI's top lawyer, Dana Boente, was asked to resign on Friday. Two sources familiar with the decision to dismiss Boente said it came from high levels of the Justice Department rather than directly from FBI Christopher Wray. His departure comes on the heels of recent criticism by Fox News for his role in the investigation of former Trump National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. A spokesman for the FBI confirmed to NBC News that Boente did in fact resign on Friday. Fox News has recently criticized Boente's role in the investigation of Flynn, whose criminal charge for lying to the FBI was recently dropped by the Justice Department based in part on the argument that his lies were not material to an underlying investigation. Boente also said in a recently leaked memo that material put into the public record about Flynn was not exculpatory for the former National Security Advisor. The memo undermines the Justice Department's latest position that material about Flynn was mishandled by prosecutors. Fox Business host Lou Dobbs said on April 27th that Shocking new reports suggest FBI General Counsel Dana Boente was acting in coordination with FBI Director Christopher Wray to block the release of that evidence that would have cleared General Flynn.
Ooh.
Dirty. Wray formally asked for Boente's resignation, but the decision to end his tenure at the FBI came from Attorney General William Barr's Justice Department, which oversees the FBI, according to two sources. A spokesman for the FBI said Boente announced on Friday his decision to retire, which will take effect June 30th. That's the end of this month, guys. Few people have served so well in so many critical high-level roles at the department, Wray said in a statement. Throughout his long and distinguished career as a public servant, Dana has demonstrated a selfless determination to ensure that justice is always served on behalf of our citizens.
Except for that one time.
Yeah, when you went after Flynn. And probably multiple others, I'm sure we'll find out. In a joint statement on Sunday, Senators Mark Warner and Tim Kaine, both Democrats, Virginia, said Boente was a dedicated and experienced career civil servant. They said that if Boente was pushed out as retribution for his role in the Flynn investigation, he appears to be one more victim of Attorney General's disturbing crusade to turn the Department of Justice into another arm of the president's political campaign. Well, goodbye, Boente. Thank you for playing.
All right, Post 4360 comes to us on May 30th at 4:11 p.m. Call the Ball, Insurrection Act of 1807. Insurrection Act of 1807, determination that the various state and local authorities are not up to the task of responding to the growing unrest. Call the ball.
Do it, Q.
And hey guys, the ball has been called.
We are green. Post 4361 dropped 30th of May 2020 at 5:33 p.m. Riots in Chicago. God save America. And we have a graphic here. President Donald J. Trump. Every citizen in every community has the right to be safe in their workplace, safe in their homes, and safe on our city streets. This is the sacred right of all Americans that I am totally determined to defend. God bless you, sir. We stand behind you. Q says, on the ready, God save America. We have a link to a Twitter account. Let's go check it out. This tweet comes from Patriot Boogaloo Voice at BVoiceP. Chicago protests right now. So we're going to play this video, but we would suggest if you have any children in the room, please take them out now or shut off the video.
And violent, so yeah, definitely don't
but
let your kids
you
watch
can
this.
see the level of absolute brainwashing that has gone on with this Antifa group and their followers. It is sick and wrong. Sincerely hope that everyone is convicted and put in jail for a very long time.
Beat the shit out of Trump, bitch ass! Fucking time out!
Trying to
Yep.
It's terrible.
It's messed up. It's wrong. But that will do it for May 30th Q Posts, Patriots.
All right, yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up, guys.
Yep, absolutely. Don't forget, if you are enjoying our content, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, toggle the little notification bell so you're notified when we put out new videos. Send your friends, family members, get the word out, guys. We're growing this channel, and it's all because of you, and we appreciate your support.
We sure do.
And don't forget, where we go one, we go all.
Love you, Patriots.
Bye, Patriots.